What's up, everybody? Weston here with the Hidden Gibbon. Keeping our 5 cards that I love to throw in every deck going, and today is lands. Now, a little caveat about the lands, because unless I'm going to do 5 colorless lands, it's not going to be, not all of these are able to go into every deck due to color restrictions. So this will be the first of the videos where you can't just jam, like you couldn't jam a Gaia's Cradle into a mono white deck, right? However, these are lands that I will jam in every deck that can take them. All right. So without further ado, let's start in at number 5, Rogue's Passage. You will note that I love this card because it appears in nearly every one of my deck techs because it is just that good of a card. Helps protect your commander if your commander ever has to turn sideways. It simply is a colorless land. It adds a colorless mana, and you can pay 4 mana to tap it. Target creature can't be blocked this turn. If you have any combat-based commander, such as, Jin here that I'm building, Rogue's Passage is a great card. Honorable mention to Secret Tunnel as well, but for that one, a little bit got edged out of the list because you have to have creatures that share a creature type, and you don't always have that in decks. You always should have 4 mana to make your commander unblockable. Just overall good utility if you have combat-based commander, if you have commander that has any sort of combat trigger, if you just need to swing in without your commander dying, or any other creature, without them dying, Rogue's Passage is the way to go. It is a gold standard because it's not color restricted. But it's a pretty cheap card. It's pretty fun. I play it a lot in my paper decks as well. Go ahead, throw it in. You won't be disappointed. In at number 4, this is our first of the colored lands. And I am going to preface this by saying I think that the planets are highly underrated and undervalued. I think that people see the station cost of 12 plus and think that it is not worth the time or effort to be able to get these activated. But we have Adagia Windswept Bastion, which 1, the art is incredible, and 2, so this land enters tapped. It adds a white mana, and then you can station it, which means you can tap another creature you control, put a charge counter, put charge counters equal to its power on this planet. Station only as a sorcery. And then once it hits 12 plus station, you have tap 3 and a white. Tap it, create a token that's a copy of a target artifact or enchantment you control, except it's legendary. Activate only as a sorcery. I play this in pretty much every white deck that I have, even ones that run low on creatures or have low to the ground creatures, and I have never had a problem getting this activated. In the decks that I have that run very few creatures, those are mostly stacks decks where people aren't able to attack me anyway, and so I'm able to use my little dorks to power this up, and yes, it takes a little bit longer, but it still gets done. And then in things like go wide token strategies, you might be generating enough tokens and pumping enough tokens that you can activate this in 1 to 2 turns. Pretty simple, straight and through, and once it's activated, you don't have to worry about adding more counters to it, unless somebody is playing like Vampire Hexmage or something, right? Or Aether Snap. But creating the token of a copy of an artifact or enchantment is just really good. I've played this in white-blue, where I've copied my Extravagant Replication, which is another card that I absolutely love, but you can use it to copy a Rhystic Study. You can use it to copy a Ghostly Prison, a Smothering Tithe, right? You can use this to great effect. Any of your really powerful artifacts that you want to get out there, Panharmonicon is coming to mind. I've done it for that as well. But Adagia is a highly underrated planet. I think that there was only one bad planet printed, and it was red. I don't know why they had to do red so dirty, because all the other ones are very useful. Next is the other planet I have on this list, because I really do jam this in every single green deck that I have. For the number of copies that I have. I think I have like 6 or 7 of these. But it enters tapped, just like the Adagia. It adds a green. It stations for 12, just like Adagia as well. And then it has tap a green and tap it. Add 1 green mana for each creature you control. This is a budget Gaia's Cradle. And this is even easier to activate than Adagia. Whereas Adagia in mono white, like you're going wide, or if you are going tall, it takes a little bit longer. Green just dumps everything out on the board constantly. You play in elves, well, those elves probably have lords that are pumping them. This is activated in 1 to 2 turns. You got yourself, you're playing big stompy dinosaurs and beasts. Well, this is going to be activated in 1 to 2 turns. You like in Azusa, I don't play a lot of low to the ground things, but I'm dumping out like an Eldrazi, pretty quickly. And yeah, that Eldrazi usually gets removed before it gets to attack, but you know what he can do? He can station. And before he gets removed, before my next turn. And even then, it gets activated very quickly. Avendo is just overall a very strong card. Much like Gaia's Cradle, It is a bargain version. I'm not paying $1,000 for a Gaia's Cradle, so I'm going to run Avendo, and I'm going to run Growing Rites of Itlimoc in my deck. Both of them. Because I want as many Cradle effects as possible without having to spend $1,000 on a real Cradle. Pretty simple, straightforward. I would strongly urge you to try this out sometime. I actually think this card gets better the lower the bracket you go. So in like bracket 2, because games are not ending super fast, and bracket 2 is where you find a whole bunch of battle cruiser magic, and so you're gonna have like somebody play a Gigantosaurus, which is a 10/10, and then you're just gonna be able to tap it the 10/10 to crew this. And yeah, just overall, try Avendo out. This one's a little bit more expensive. I think it's sitting around $20 at this point in time. It might be a little bit cheaper than that. If you want to try, if you want to test it out in your list before actually committing to a buy, of course, just like proxy it, like make a little piece of paper or print out a picture of it, put it in your sleeve, say, hey guys, I'm testing this out to see if it would work well in my deck. But Avendo, I have done a lot of really gross things with this card. It has done very well in the games that I have gotten it out there. Next, we have Abandoned Air Temple. This came from Avatar: The Last Airbender. I, again, think that this card is highly underrated. I didn't see a lot of people talk about it. I don't see it played a lot in Spell Table, Arena, or in my IRL games. I just picked up another one from the card store. But it simply says, it enters tapped unless you control a basic land. Play basics in your deck, especially at lower bracket. It's untapped. Simple. You tap to add a white, and then you can tap forward. Put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control. So this is really strong, like if you're going tokens, especially. Like, oh, hey, look, I'm in Selesnya. Every Selesnya deck ever. I have a bunch of tokens and a bunch of mana because I'm running green and I'm running white. Well, I'm going to put a whole bunch of 1/1 counters on my stuff. This is pretty good, especially if you're running those effects that lets you untap lands. Well, then you're going to be able to do this multiple times, pump up your stuff pretty fast. I don't have too much to say about this card other than it is really good. It's coming in at like $3 to $5, I think, is the price range for it right now. So still pretty cheap. Not a lot of people are playing it that I've seen. I would strongly recommend it. This and the Fire Nation Palace are very strong. And then in at number 5, speaking of which, is Fire Nation Palace. This is also from Avatar: The Last Airbender. This land enters tapped unless you control a basic land. You add a red, and then you can add a colorless or a generic and a red, tap it. Target creature you control gains firebending 4 until end of turn. I have been running this in my Spellslinger decks. I have run this in Vivi, as well as my Giora, and a couple other decks that run red that just fling spells. Even if it's mono red, I'm building a mono red firebender deck. It's going in there. Because then you can play your instants during your combat step when you add this. It's just a generically good add 4 red mana to do stuff during combat. Just very good, very strong. Again, generic value. I jam it in almost every red deck because almost every red deck plays some form of red instant, whether it's the instant draws that let you discard a card, draw 2, create a treasure, that sort of thing. that like those cards during your combat phase, perfectly acceptable, perfectly fine. If it's pump spells in like a Gruul deck, things like that, I would just say try it out, see how you like it. Again, cards pretty cheap. I think like $1 to $4 or something like that currently. Not expensive at all. But yeah, so those were my 5 land cards. Again, sorry that they aren't all colorless lands. That seemed a little boring. I wanted to give a little bit of mix and match for different colors. I didn't have one for blue, but I suppose if you wanted one for blue, I would go with Uthros from Edge of Eternities, which is the Tellurian Academy planet. And then for black, I would go with Sassar Secundi Void Altar, because it sacks and lets you draw cards. Also, like the planets are just that strong. Other than the red one, like I said, that one's garbage. Not good. I don't know why the other ones are so good, and then that one is just so bad. Maybe they're just like, hey, this is your points budget for power for the 5 planets, and they just ate them all up on the other ones and just made that one terrible. But is what it is. Let me know what lands you find jamming in every deck, whether it be colorless lands, whether it be decks in, or lands in certain color decks. Do you run Urborg and Yevimaya in every deck that you can? I run Yevimaya in a lot, personally. Secret Tunnel, Bajuka Bog, Temple of the False God, Arena of Glory, all of those. Let me know in the comments down below. I am loving talking with y'all about this, but as always, I am Weston with the Hidden Gibbon, and you know what? Tomorrow starts our first day with the guilds, and we're going to lead it off with Azorius. But I hope you all have a wonderful day.